Alright, Austin, can you hear me? Is the game audio too loud compared to the commentary? We're gonna let the opening movie play for once. Okay, so far so good. So this is a really interesting game. This game has a bit of a cult following and was really hyped up on the secondary market to where a lot of the copies were bought out. And this game now demands a ridiculous asking price, which I unfortunately paid because, like I said, it is pretty much the holy grail of my PS2 collection, a game I've been very, very curious about for a long time. So, what essentially happens, and I don't know exactly how this occurs in the story yet, but it's sort of a feudal Japan set samurai game where the main character ends up losing a lot of his vital body parts, and so you have to get them back by fighting certain bosses, and as a result of doing so, you get certain things back. But the game actually starts off in black and white because you don't have all of your vision yet. And you have like swords replacing part of your arms and stuff like that. So you're sort of like it's sort of like the feudal Japan version of Adam Jensen from Human Revolution, but it seems like a very it gives me a lot of Onimusha vibes. A lot. It was actually made by the same studio that made Gungrave, as a matter of fact. So I am very much looking forward to that. Sort of like the mid-2000s version of, what is it, like Sekiro or whatever the game is that came out this year. So I'm very, very, very curious to see how this plays out. I've seen a lot of gameplay of it. I remember way, way back in the day when G4 was like doing stuff like X-Play and all those kind of reviews. And I remember seeing their review of this, and it was very favorable. But also, the gameplay looked kind of clunky to me when I watched it. And so I don't know how well the combat is actually going to flow in this. I guess we'll find out when we actually get into it. But I'm definitely just digging the whole samurai angle for sure, as you would expect from me. You know what this really makes me want to play is the PS2 Berserk game, the Millennium Falcon Hen or whatever it's called. Because I have that. I actually have. That's been on my to stream list for a very long time. So I definitely intend to do that one day. That game has surprisingly tight gameplay for when it was released. Because, of course, the proper response to losing a limb is just to replace it with a weapon. Lose an arm, put a sword there. Lose a leg, put a grenade launcher in your fake kneecap. And this reminds me of the Nine-Tailed Fox Kitsune battle from Okami, which was also just as terrifying as this. Now, I would definitely love to do an Okami stream with Michelle, so she can see that game for the first time, because I actually bought 2 copies of the HD version, kind of by accident, because one of them was for... I bought one for my brother on the Xbox One, and another one for another friend on the PS4, but they accidentally sent me 2 Xbox One copies, so I ended up with one for myself. And then they released the Okami HD on the Switch, and oh, this is interesting. There's actually like options here, with load being at the very bottom. I suppose we can just hit up and go down. So, play as Hayaki Mura and recover his 48 body parts stolen by fiends. Let's do that. I don't know if it has to tell you there's no problem with your TV. I mean, we can see clearly right here by the menu that there's still some color.
Hyakimaru, move with the left analog stick, not with the directional button. Good. Well done, Hyakimaru.
Interesting how the camera works, because it doesn't spin around you. It's like a fixed camera, but you can kind of... it's like it goes into first-person mode, and you can kind of look around. But you can center the camera with L1,
move
apparently.
With the left analog stick while holding down the L1 button. This will allow you to strafe from side to side.
That's pretty cool. I imagine that's going to come up in combat quite a bit.
Back to your enemy. Press the L1 button to center the camera in the direction you are facing. Jump with the X button. Yes, very good, Hyakimaru.
You already have a double jump. That's pretty cool.
Now try pressing the X button one more time while in mid-jump. Well done. That was an excellent double jump. Now for battle practice. The square button does a light attack, and the triangle button does a heavy attack. You're a quick learner. Now, I will show you a very special technique. Press and hold the triangle button. When your sword flashes, let go of the triangle button. Attack the enemy using that technique. Press and hold the triangle button.
Wasn't what I intended to do there.
When your sword flashes, let go of the triangle button. Attack the enemy using that technique. Then press the buttons as they appear on the screen.
Oh, some combo shit.
Once the enemy's health has been depleted,
that's fucking cool.
Press the triangle button. Very well done, Hyakimaru. Try to get as many slashes as you can. You may be rewarded. Look, your attacks have caused your spirit gauge to fill up. See the blue gauge blinking in the upper left corner. Now, press the square button and the triangle button simultaneously. Excellent. You have successfully performed a spirit
That's
attack.
pretty sick.
You will be able to learn more spirit attacks by finding spirit scrolls. Press the L2 button. See how the weapon in your hand changed?
Ah, interesting. You can do the double sword arms.
Be sure to try each one at least
or we
once.
can do... We can put our fake hands on and bring out an actual katana.
Button to return to using your sword arm.
And that's a thrust. It takes a little bit of time to pull off.
Finally, I will explain how to use the weapons I've built into your body. First, your right arm. While using your sword, impress it as I call it the repeater
That's
arm
cool.
cannon.
So we are. It is a lot
This
like
weapon
the
can be used
Berserk
when you
game in
have
a
your
way.
sword arms drawn. It is
And it
very
has an ammo
effective,
meter rather than a
but there is
cooldown.
limited ammo.
That's pretty cool.
So, use it wisely. Now your left leg. Press and hold. Once you select your target using the cursor, press the
Aim our
triangle
little
button.
grenade. Gears of War style.
Now your left leg. Once you select your target using the cursor, press the triangle button. Right? Hey,
That's pretty cool.
Yakimaru. I call it the guided leg cannon. It is very
Guided
powerful,
leg cannon.
but uses
I mean,
special
what
ammo.
else would you call it, right?
Use it sparingly. Oh, I almost forgot. Those swords in your arms, as you defeat demons with them, the swords will increase in level. Be sure to use them often, Hyakimaru, for they will serve you well. Hyakimaru, your journey begins here. Steel your will. Be strong. Defeat the 48 fiends and return here alive. I await you, Hyakimaru.
Michelle just now joins. She's like, "Are you a robot?" So no, actually. So essentially, the story goes, and we'll see this play out, I'm sure. But the main character had demons take his body parts, and so he's been grafted with like fake sword arms and like prosthetic legs. And the reason why the game is in black and white is because he's missing part of his vision as well. So that's one of the first things we get back in the game is your vision, where the game goes back into color, which I think is really fucking cool. So let's actually try some combat here and see how this goes. So I think the strafe mechanic adds a lot to it in terms of it being easy to target enemies, and the hit detection seems to be pretty good as well. Again, I'm not crazy about this camera, how you move the analog stick and it just kind of becomes almost like a first-person thing. But the ability to center it, again, I guess helps out quite a bit. It makes sense for a game of its era. Some kind of weird bird thing. Which just straight up knocked us out of the air. Let's try that again. Nice. Oh yeah, let's try the machine gun thing. Oh, he didn't say there was any kind of block button, though. That's a little concerning. The machine gun auto aims, looks like it's pretty powerful against those birds as well. We have a Jamie as well. Yeah, I think she would get a kick out of this. It does have a lot of Japanese horror and like yokai elements to it as well. Let's use the stupid knee grenade launcher thing and see what that does. Oh, that's fucking awesome. I love it. Let's try the katana and see if that does any better. Hits a little bit harder, but it's not quite as fast. Oh yeah, I can't use the gun if I don't have the mechanical arms equipped. Makes sense. Jamie is saying that the soundtrack reminds her of Fatal Frame, which I guess makes sense. So to be honest, I can't hear the music all that well because I have the TV turned down so that you guys wouldn't pick it up on the, you guys would not pick it up on the microphone. So you guys are getting the most raw version of the audio on your side there. Assuming this is a healing point or a save point. Okay. I need to switch memory cards then, because that's not enough space to save. Or I suppose we could just do another new game another time. Oh god, so we have skill trees and everything. This is pretty in-depth for its time. I didn't expect this at all. And then let's see what we're missing on our body, if it will tell us. Oh my god. So there's 6 things missing on our digestive system. 4 things missing on our muscular system, skeletal system, immune system, respiratory system, circulatory system, oral cavity, appendages. Wow, what the flip? How are we even alive right now? I'm assuming it's like, I mean, I guess you see that a lot in a lot of Japanese fiction where it's like, or actually in a lot of, I shouldn't say Japanese fiction, I should say just kind of in general, there's a lot of spiritual belief systems that say there's more than one entity to the human body. There's like the mind, body, and spirit. So I'm assuming he's persevering through the sheer will of the spirit alone, and his body is crippled. And we have giant insects. Great.
Demons!
Yeah, this is actually really reminding me of the Berserk game. A lot. I mean, if you guys want to see that, I can totally stream that, although it's all in Japanese. That game has the most badass opening song, too. Annihilate all the demons. Are we playing Devil May Cry all of a sudden? We kind of are. Giant insects. They look like giant, like, stink bug looking things. Let's use the grenade launcher again. So we have an Anthony here. He says, "You guys have this game? This is pretty expensive now, isn't it?" Like, yes, it is. And I actually just found my copy of it about a month ago. And yeah, I paid a pretty penny for it, but I'm very glad that I finally have it. Let's try this. Let's try the thrust. That wasn't exactly what I was hoping for, but there we go. The regular thrust. One left. Nope. All done.
What is that? The air doesn't feel right. Smells like a demon to me.
I'm surprised you have your sense of smell, dude, with all the other things you're missing. And again, we would save, but we actually don't have memory card space right now. So I'm hoping this game is not one of those where a boss is just going to show up and just one-shot us and we got to start away from the beginning. But, knowing my luck, it probably will be. I have not seen it, but maybe somebody else in the chat has seen the new Dororo anime.
I finally found one. These fiends live off the sorrow and despair of humans. I'm here to take back my body.
Oh, thank God we have a different type of camera for the boss battle. I think we went a little overzealous there. Whoa, boy. So we're now playing... Now we actually are playing Sekiro. We're playing a Souls game. Get up. Ow. I should definitely switch back to the arm swords. They're faster. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of ways to avoid his attacks, though, unfortunately. Again, I have no roll, I have no dodge button that I know of. No real way to dodge that, it seems like. So, I'm sure there's a trick to this I'm not aware of. Now, granted, he does seem to take damage pretty quick. Damn it, missed. That was my last shot, too. Alright, maybe we can get something from one of these. Yay, we got some health. I don't know if it'll let us do that right now. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Oh, he's powering up. Bruh. Alright, he's pretty low on health now. We might be able to finish him off. Note to self, he has a new attack when he's low on health. I think if we just go ham, we can get him. Almost got him, almost got him. Damn it. I probably made that way harder than it had any right to be. But okay. And there goes my computer going in standby mode again. We can speak again. Congratulations.
My voice. It's my own voice. I got my voice back.
We got our vocal cords back, which increases. Apparently, your vocal cords give you more power and HP. Who would have thought?
The world was ravaged by unending war. The people cried to the heavens. Their hearts
I am very
despair.
curious as to when,
Unbeknownst
historically,
to them,
this is supposed to take
the world
place.
was at the mercy of a group of vile demons known as fiends. One day, a terrible omen appeared in the sky. When morning came, not one, but two suns rose in the east. However, while one sun shined more brightly than ever, the other gave off a dull, black light, as if it were but a shadow of the real sun. It seemed as though the gods of the heavens could no longer bear to witness the troubled times on earth, and parted ways with the gods of darkness. The gods of darkness, the fiends, looked upon this omen with fear. To them, the appearance of two sons foretold the birth of a human that would have the power to end their dark rule. However, the fiends could not destroy this child of light themselves.
I'm like casually looking for another memory card as this
They
cutscene
discovered,
going.
however, they could corrupt the child's birth parents. The fiends approached Kagemitsu Daigo, a local samurai, and the future father of the child of light, and enticed him with promises of power. One night, in his dreams, Kagemitsu Daigo saw a vision. In this vision, he was told that he would be given the power to bring order to this chaotic world. Daigo, thinking that he had received a vision from the heavens, gathered all his courage and ventured to the temple called the Gates of Hell alone. As Daigo stood there, surrounded by the possessed
Of course it's the
statues
Sengoku
of the
period.
48 fiends, he was
Tony,
told
did you
that
just
the
look
price
that
of
up,
his
or?
power would be his firstborn child. The sudden demand threw Daigo into a panic. Heightened by the echoing laughter of the fiends, his mind
Some pretty
began to
awesome
twist,
design on these guys,
and
though, I will
Daigo's
say that.
reason and judgment failed him at last. He signed the contract. A few days later, Daigo's child was born. This was much to the surprise of Daigo himself, as he had expected the fiends would lay claim to his child. Daigo dared to allow himself to feel a moment of joy and relief, but that moment proved to be short-lived. Shadows gathered over the newborn, wrapping themselves around its tiny body. A voice sounded from within the shadows. The body of your son now belongs to the 48 fiends. As promised, you shall be granted the power to bring order to this pitiful world. You shall never know defeat in battle from this day forth. Your path to victory shall be littered with the corpses of those who defy you. 48 parts of the infant's body had been stolen by the fiends. Seeing what happened to his son, Daigo let out a blood-curdling scream in anguish. Suddenly, Daigo sprang into action. He snatched up the infant in his arms, jumped atop his trusty steed, Midoro. His wife desperately tried to stop him, but Daigo shrugged her off and made his way toward the river.
So, Tony, is this game actually based off of another intellectual property? I was not able to find a memory card, so we will not be saving.
Save the game here.
I am kind of salty about that because if I had known that, I would have, done something about it so that we could at least have continue from my save data. But whenever I play this next, I guess I'm just going to have to go through these opening sequences again.
Stay back.
Alright, more combat. I do notice a similarity between certain games like Devil May Cry, where it's like, hey, defeat all the enemies in this one section to be able to exit the room, but I guess that was probably a trope of action games from back then. Oh, that was fucking cool. I don't know if I'm hitting the enemy there to cause them to disappear like that. I mean, if those little falling orbs were these guys coming down, then
Sword arms have leveled up.
they just landed like clear on the other side of the bridge. They did not land on the bridge at all. Now our character actually makes like proper like grunting sounds. That's really cool. So the anime Dororo, written by Osamu Tezuka, written in the late 60s, is the intellectual property this is based off of. So that's really cool. And actually, I think it says something on the...
I bet it was forged by a master swordsman.
Yeah! Holy shit! So right here on the case, it says "Blood will tell." Tezuya Osama's Dororo.
You mind if I take it?
Right there. So that's pretty cool.
Don't make me laugh.
I definitely appreciate knowing that because
Come rain or shine.
I'm sure a lot of the
mine.
nuances will be lost.
This thing is attached to my arm.
On somebody just playing the game and not realizing its legacy like that.
Easily.
About the snooze.
Get that sword.
Are you stupid? Staying near me is certain death. You saw them.
Oh, the
you?
woes of live
I'm haunted
streaming
by ghosts and
not being
demons.
able to edit your stuff.
Well, the world-famous thief is afraid of nothing.
Thief or not, don't follow me.
So it looks like right here, there's a bunch of red icons on the map of other enemies, but we're just not in like a major encounter. I wonder if I can just jump straight off this bridge and go fight them. Nope. Wouldn't that be something? I bet you I can just cut right through these trees. Or not. I'm actually kind of surprised. I wonder how many, if this is an old story, I wonder how many different anime adaptations have been done around it. Tony was saying earlier that the recent one is decidedly less dark than this one. This combat is a lot of fun, I do have to say that. So that's a huge, that's like extremely refreshing, considering that I was so worried about it being clunky.
Let me go! Let me go! Help!
That is disturbing. Yeah, I definitely, I wish I knew better like what the term was for like Japanese horror. I mean, obviously we know like, what do you call it? Did I damage the kid by attacking this boss?
Let me go! Let me go!
Yeah, I guess not. It doesn't seem to be like it. Looks like he can resist. Can he resist damage from the gun? Or is that just making that up? Oh, he still took the damage. You still take the damage! Said every character in Arc 5. Looks like he spits out like a miasma from his ugly face. I mean, obviously we know what like yokai and yokai mythology is and like that kind of stuff, but there's got to be like another name for like Japanese horror. So I guess that was the easy phase of the boss while he's holding the kid, and now he's going to get a lot faster and stronger, I'm assuming. We've already done a pretty decent amount of damage to him, though. It does seem like this boss might be a little bit easier than the previous one. Why my spirit gauge is like flashing like that? Oh, he can. The kid can damage him too. How cool is that? He just headbutted me with his massive, ugly noggin. Come on, you gonna feint an attack? Damn, kid! That was some serious damage there. Come on. Sweet, we got him. That was pretty easy.
My eye!
Oh, that's not disturbing at all. Oh, I guess it's his fake eye falling out. What the fuck? That's so disturbing. Hey, we have color! Wow, how cool is that?
I can see. I can see through my left eye. Dororo. You're Dororo. Your voice is a little annoying, but you're a cuter kid than I thought.
Hey, is that your eye?
Go ahead. Pick it up.
Yeah, so I'm assuming he had like a fake eye, and yeah, that had to be the case. I didn't expect to get the color back quite this early in the game, but it still was pretty cool to have that black and white sequence just the same.
I don't blame you.
I think more games could probably get away with doing that for artistic reasons, just having either entire sequences or maybe even the entire game be in black and white.
Having returned from his studies in China, the physician Jukai had been gathering herbs near the river. To his surprise, he came upon a barrel floating by, carrying in it a tiny infant. Perhaps it was his medical training that urged him to save the child, or perhaps it was human instinct. But Jukai did not hesitate but for a second before he rescued the child from the barrel. Yet upon examining the child, he was at a loss for words, for he did not know any medicines that could help this cursed infant. However, as Jukai fed the child, he watched the infant sip at its porridge. He felt its burning
Now, in real
desire
life,
to
if
live,
you saw
and
a
decided to
infant
raise the
child
as his own.
that like washed up on your shore and it was missing an eye, its arms, like several of its body parts, and was like clearly suffering, would you be like, oh yeah, some Chinese medicine will fix that? And I mean, I guess you would have had to have the meta knowledge that it was a curse and not like injuries. Otherwise, you'd be like, well, there's no way this thing is surviving.
In search of the source of the voice. The infant was staring straight at him with its empty eyes. Could it be?
So Jamie goes on to say that Kaiden is the more traditional term for ghost/horror stories from Japan, but I don't know if it's still used in the modern day. Interesting indeed.
That the child could speak directly to his mind. From that day forward, Jukai communicated with the child.
And again, I hate to keep making this parallel, but
everything he needed to know
it's like
about living in this cruel
Berserk
world.
takes that style of horror and almost like westernizes it.
He decided
where it's like, how can we take this same kind of like
he would use all his medical
Kaiden, yokai, mythos type of horror fiction and westernize it, and it's
everything that the child lacked.
That's an interesting way to look at it that I hadn't thought of before.
After many, many hours, a miracle happened.
And I guess all this lore and all this exposition does make a lot more sense when you consider that this is based off of a really old manga, and there's lots of story that needs to be established for context. But that is one of the biggest selling points of this game, is the story, from what I've heard, so I'm pretty okay with that.
Within a month after the surgery, Yakimaru began to learn to use his new body. He sat up, moved his legs, and took his first steps. He stumbled many times, but every time he picked himself back up and tried again. The pain was nearly unbearable, and every day he worked himself to the point of nearly collapsing. Soon Hyakimaru was able to run about as free as any child. When Hyakimaru turned 6, Jukai had been watching him run and play like any child would, despite the fact that he could not see. He knew at that moment that with such wondrous gifts, a strange and fantastic destiny would surely be awaiting Hyakimaru. As Hyakimaru grew older, strange things began to occur. Demons began to appear all around them, watching their every move. When Hyakimaru turned 18, he visited a local temple.
There's some nightmare fuel for you in the
While
background.
praying, a voice spoke to him from the heavens. The 48 fiends have each taken a part of your body, young Hyakimaru. You must slay these fiends and retrieve what is rightfully yours. However, the fiends have also created a human out of your body parts. Slay the fiends, or their human creation, and you shall become whole once again. Hyakimaru, sensing the seriousness of the situation, sat down to speak with Jukai. Hyakimaru knew that the fiends were after him. He knew it was because of his special powers that the demons wanted him dead. Even though he had artificial limbs and could not see nor hear, he could see things with some sort of innate sixth sense. He knew that the fiends considered him a threat and would do anything to get rid of him.
Well, that must not have been a very
Hyakimaru
useful
decided
curse
that he
then.
must seek
And
out
that
the
seems to happen a
fiends and
lot in a lot
destroy
of
them.
fiction where it's like, oh, this
To help
person
him
is
accomplish
cursed,
this,
but they end up just
Jukai
cursing them
decided
with
to
like
perform
better
one
powers
final
anyway.
operation on Hyakimaru. He fitted Hyakimaru's body with various powerful weapons. As Hyakimaru prepared to set off on his quest, Jukai warned Hyakimaru of the dangers he was sure to face. He explained that fiends lived off of human suffering and grief. He told Hyakimaru that if he encountered any peoples burdened with inexplicable pain or suffering, chances are he would find a fiend nearby.
So I'm assuming that was the prologue, and now we go into the first chapter? Is that right? Guess we'll find out.
Yucky. Yucky.
He's like, I still don't have ears. I can speak now and I can see, but that doesn't mean I have ears. Oh God, what is this? It's Groot. It's like Groot's ugly cousin has come to visit us, and he's got a little bell.
Yucky.
Also, weirdly enough, reminds me of a Tonberry from Final Fantasy, just ominously walking right up to you. Like there's nothing you can do about it.
You want some? You want some? If it's free, I'll take it.
just thinking him so shiny.
Oh, that's pretty cool. You can still see the black sun up there.
Yaki, did you see that creep last night?
Yeah, you looked so scared, I thought you'd start crying.
You think I was scared of that freak? If I gave him a nasty look, he'd have run away crying. He was probably an amateur thief. He's probably headed for that village over there. We should go check it out.
Okay, so Dororo, which I guess is the main character of the manga, we can give him some basic instructions. I doubt many of these are going to be all that useful.
Dororo!
Gotcha.
Dororo!
So we can pick one of the three. Oh, we do it with the analog stick? That's kind of stupid.
Gotcha.
Dororo!
I'm not one to complain now. This game reminds me that I really need to finish Onimusha and Genji Dawn of the Samurai. I've got both of those, and I think Genji might play a little bit better in my opinion, but like, Onimusha is good as well. It's just Onimusha is basically Resident Evil set in like a samurai setting, so it has like the tank controls and the fixed camera and everything. And not the biggest fan of that, but I'm really looking forward to the story and all that. I just got really lost trying to play Onimusha 1. And there was actually an HD version of Onimusha released this year, which is pretty cool. Ah, come on. I hate the range on that.
Sword arms have leveled up.
Out of ammo in the machine gun. That's a shame. I actually don't have any ammo at all. I should probably work on that. But as far as I know, you can only get them in the chest. You can't get them like at a shop or anything. It doesn't seem like they're automatically renewed at any given interval. I also don't know what these are that I'm picking up right now, because they were not in the prologue. Maybe they're like little health things. Oh, that's lovely. Not disgusting at all.
Dororo!
Gotcha.
Oh cool, we get an invincibility power-up. I don't know why we need that now, or why we couldn't get that before, but we're just gonna go ham then, assuming that's the case. I wonder if we get any kind of extra bonuses, like experience or whatever, for doing extra combos on enemies after they've already been down. Because it seems like you can hit the enemy corpses even if they are already defeated. Got some ammo, which we're not going to use right now, of course, because we don't have a lot of it. And now we see the save points are in color. Not that it helps us with our lack of memory card save data. Switch back to the katana and try that out. Oh, what the heck? It doesn't damage them. Interesting. I wonder if that has to do with, like, slashing damage versus piercing damage, because, like, they seem to have, like, turtle shells. Like, these guys might be kappas, and, you know, the kappas can't be damaged by the katana, but they can be damaged by the little sword arms. Maybe that's the logic behind it.
Sword arms have leveled up.
Dang, he got a full combo on me. We try that silly move where we do the thing. Ah, that sucked. Messed up right off the bat. Let's try it again here. I guess we don't need to, because Yotaro just did it for us. I guess we have to watch his health bar too, because his health's kind of low. Hopefully it doesn't make this game into like some kind of complicated escort mission though, and hopefully we don't get game overs if he gets incapacitated. Although we probably will. Dang. I guess you can't go too fast either, because you could accidentally hit the wrong prompt and mess it up. And that requires some practice. I'm going to practice it now.
Oh, come on!
Ran out of time again. I guess you have to decide, are you going to continue the combo, or are you going to use the finisher? Like, what are you going to do?
Sword arms have leveled up.
Burbs. I guess I got them. You can see their little map icon there flicker out as their bodies fade away. Oh, I'm out of ammo again. Great.
I can save the game here.
Alright, so I think that's all the time we have for tonight. Just about an hour. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is a totally just impromptu, unplanned stream of a brand new game I've never played before. And it seems like it's pretty awesome, so I'm definitely looking forward to playing more of this. Whether or not I will stream the entire game, I'm really not sure at this point, but I definitely enjoyed this. And like I said, this is absolutely the holy grail of my PS2 collection. I'm really glad I finally have a copy of it. And I can share how awesome it is with you guys. So I definitely appreciate you guys taking the time to watch, and I will see you guys next time.